The culture of Cross County, Arkansas is steeped in agriculture. Our area is home to many farmers. Our district lines themselves spread for many miles through lots of farmland and lots of rural areas. Cross County has about 291 students. All of our students eat free, which means we have a very large percentage of students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, which would be 70+%. So this is my 7th year as a principal at Cross County High. When I arrived at Cross County, we had a 77% graduation rate, and we were a D-rated school.
Cross County did struggle for a while. Mr. Prince was at the elementary school when we started implementing the NIET system, and he just ran with that. He was such a strong leader when we started that system. We needed that at the high school.
Do you have any other ideas or any other ahas that you want to share with the group from last week's learning before we jump into this week? I really wanted to work on our student growth, our student achievement, and also our graduation rate. Through the course of 7 years, we have increased our graduation rate to 95%. We were a C-rated school for 2 years in a row. We did finally crack that B rating.
NIET framework helps us to make sure we're getting consistent teaching and learning in this building. Through the use of the teaching and learning rubric, through the leadership team, we're constantly digging into data and looking at good teaching and learning and making sure that our students are getting the best quality education that they can here in a very small school.
What's important is you have all three parts. You have the claim, which is your answer, you have the evidence, which is showing your work, and you have your reasoning why you did that work.
Everything in the framework, from the rubric to the wording, is all about the student, and I think if you're in the teaching business, that's what your goal and your drive should be, is about the student.
The staff at Cross County cares so much about each individual student. It's just wonderful to be able to send your children to somewhere that has that environment.
I feel like the school is trying to set me up to go somewhere. I feel like they're trying to get me into a good place and go to a good future.
When we started hearing news of COVID-19 and pandemic, then the news came from the state, said, hey, we're going home. We're going to have to pivot to virtual learning. And that was a shock for all of us in terms of what are we going to do next?
We were set up in a way that other districts weren't, just because our students were already one-to-one with technology. We utilized Zoom and we utilized our platform of Echo to reach our students.
They parked school buses with hotspots in several areas in town so that kids, if they could just get there, they could download their assignments. Cross County, every single day of the shutdown, ran a bus route just to deliver meals.
One thing we were very grateful for with NIET through all of this is the continued support. They provided a virtual learning companion tool, and we took that and ran with it. And we were able to use that in cluster, and that companion tool really did help us.
Our teachers continued to do the teaching. Some of the best lessons that I've seen in 5 years, 10 years, came from teachers, and it was phenomenal.
While Cross County High School pivoted to virtual learning, we saw something amazing begin to emerge. By staying true to the NIET framework in those most challenging times, they not only kept pace with student learning, but in most cases, they accelerated it.
We were above the state average in most categories, and we saw an over 11% growth in reading scores, and that was phenomenal.
There was learning loss across the entire state. However, we did not experience that learning loss. And that is 100% attributed to our NIT structures that we continue to keep in place.
I'm very proud of how hard our teachers worked, how dedicated they were during that time. Seeing them all come together and just being there for their students.
I want the world to know that, and just because we're small, and just because we're rural, that we can still provide our students with everything that they need, and then some, to be successful.